It's your good sissy Patz, and we are back with a makeup video today. Thank you so much for being here and clicking on this video. Make sure you're subscribing and liking. Now we're going to get straight into this, starting with some skin prep, doing some eye mask. Now the eye mask, I think that when you want your base and your under eyes to look super smooth, an eye mask is such an easy hack and way to do it, and I love to put this on as the first step before I do my eyes so that it can really settle in whilst I'm doing my eye makeup. So I did my eye makeup off camera because this makeup routine is all about the base and making sure that that is long lasting and smooth and super soft. So let's get into that. Now we take off our eye mask and make sure you tap in that excess product so that your eyes absorb all of that goodness that you've let sit on there. I had to remove my headscarf as well because I need to get into that hairline. The hair was real laid on this day. I think it was a little bit wet but real laid down. I love using this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, one of the best primers. Super great for all skin types. I have oily skin, but this works so well, and I love to pat this into my skin, including under my eyes, like everywhere that you're putting makeup, pat this in. I like to spot conceal when I'm doing a really nice soft base, and I use the Huda Beauty concealer here to just get any of my dark marks and make sure they are less visible, especially where my skin really does hold on to these dark marks. I find that if I want my skin to look extra flawless, I need to do a little bit of color correction using a concealer close to my skin. I don't like using the orange one because I feel like that doesn't really do what I need it to do. I need it to be close to my skin to give me the coverage so that they are not visible at all. Then we make sure we set those marks that we have covered. If you don't set it, it will mix with your foundation and move around. So I really like to set this down. I love to put a little bit on my nose as well where I'm a bit oily, and then I go in with my favorite foundation, which is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Chai. This foundation is everything to me, and I love to conceal my brows. So underneath my brows I go with like a lighter concealer, but on top of my brows I like to use a really flat brush and use my foundation to really carve out the shape. I always recommend having multiple mirrors when you're doing your makeup. Try to have one handheld and then one further away so that you can really see like the shapes and the structures. And then we went on to putting this foundation all over the face. I love starting on the cheeks so that I can kind of let the coverage build on my cheeks whilst I'm doing the rest of my face, and then just pat it in over my entire face. I'm really patting. I don't tend to swipe, I really tend to pat, and I like to pat under my eye as well, really making sure that this is just covering everything. And I do bring it down my neck, but I don't bring it down like to my chest. This match is good enough that I don't need to bring it all the way down to my chest, but if you need to match to your chest, then please do bring it down there. And using the matching concealer, the Born This Way concealer in Butterscotch. This color is just chef's kiss. It's like the most perfect yellowy but neutral highlighter color for me, and I like to let this sit on my face whilst I contour with my creams using the Curve Case by Made by Mitchell. This is so TikTok famous, but it's TikTok famous for a reason. The colors in here are so fabulous. I think I've got the deep one. I absolutely love using this to really build up those contours on my face. Recently I've loved like a softer contour, so I like to go in with little bits at a time and then build that up. To blend my concealer, I like to start with my foundation brush. I feel like this helps your makeup all really like mesh together really well, and it feels to me like it sits into my skin a bit better. Sometimes when you use like another brush, it becomes really streaky and just becomes like a whole mess. Like I love using the foundation brush. It just makes this step so easy. I love the trick of letting your concealer sit a little bit longer. So directly under my eye, I let it sit and dry down so that it builds the coverage, and that way when I blend it out, it just really gives me that full coverage look, like I've slept for 20 hours that night, and I definitely did not. Going back with that Curve Case from Made by Mitchell, I was using the softer pink today, and I like to place this on the tops of my cheeks, kind of in like a straight diagonal line from my temple to the top of my cheek. I think this is just really flattering for my face. If you have a more squarish, roundish. I don't even know what shape head I have, but if you have a similar head shape to me, this is a really flattering way to apply your blush so that it really lifts your cheek up. Now you can see I'm blending that concealer directly under my eye, using a smaller brush to really get into that crease in my eye. I like to use a really small brush like this. I think it sits perfectly in that gap between my nose and my eyeball, and it just helps blend every time. Then setting my under eye with the Mercier powder and another similar size brush. Guys, brushes are the way forward. Brushes are the way to get the softest makeup of your life. Trust me when I tell you. And tapping motions, you'll notice that I really do not swipe that much. It's majority tapping. It's something that all makeup artists say, and I think I've seen the biggest difference when I tap. It just makes your makeup so much softer. Now this is a tried and true powder, okay? The MAC Studio Fix powder foundation. This powder is just that finishing touch to really even out your skin and the texture of the skin. I think this really adds that smooth and softness so that it matches your under eye. You can't have your under eye super smooth and then your jawline like not. Do you know what I mean? It all needs to feel smooth. For bronzer, I was using this Revolution bronzer. I really like this because it's got a little bit of a cooler tone in it, so it helps to add that depth. And when you've used the cream and then you go over it with a powder, the powder tends to like set into the cream and just give you this super like soft texture to your skin. I don't know how to explain it other than like this soft texture. I love this technique so much. Okay, onto my favorite part, which is baking my under eye. I love to use the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder in banana bread, and I use my little triangle puff, tap that onto the back of my hand, and then I tap it onto my under eye, getting a really nice even layer under there. This will help to flatten your under eye, especially if you have eye bags like I do. I love the effect that this gives, and it really just softens the skin incredibly. It's so gorgeous, such a beautiful powder. I highly recommend for everybody. I haven't seen anyone use this powder and like not enjoy it, because look at the softness. Like, what? I do bring this to the other parts of my face as well, so my forehead and my chin, just to make sure they have that same texture. And then using my blush, I use two blushes on this day. I do like to use two blushes sometimes. I use like a darker pink blush. This is the MAC blush in Raisin, and then I went on top of that with Chem Beauty Fiji so that my blush had a bit of dimension and also helped to lift my cheek. With the Fiji blush, I did bring it just that bit closer to my eye and to my under eye, kind of giving that Painted by Esther effect. I love the way she makes people's under eyes look with their blush, and the blend is seamless, so I kind of imitate that slightly on my face too. I know the girlies aren't really using highlight anymore, but I think that part of the soft glam is like a subtle highlight. I think it adds to the softness, you know, it adds to that glow. So I like using this highlighter from Fenty. I think it gives such a nice subtle shimmer. It's nothing too crazy, it just does what needs to be done. And then make sure you dust off that powder. Like, I know I didn't use a lot, but you need to make sure you dust it off or you will get flashback. And this is the base. Look at the base. Oh, this is like my go-to base. If I am going out somewhere, if I know I'm going to be photographed, this is what we're going to do. And then I did my lips off camera like that. Girl, you giving us everything and more. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I loved filming it for you. This routine is tried and true. It will last you all night and you will look so soft and beautiful from every angle. Now, if you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future. I would love to see you back here, and thank you for watching.